Fortnite. We all know and love this game. Well, it's fucking garbage. Recent decisions made by Epic is leading to a future of Fortnite that seems dark, with the possibility of the game dying in the future. If Epic has any plans to truly keep the game alive, there has to come changes. In this video, I will be highlighting 10 of the main issues that need to be addressed before it becomes too late. For starters, the UEFN launch, originally hyped up and seemingly an amazing innovative start to something new in Fortnite, rather quickly became a discovery feed filled with hundreds of red versus blue clones using copyrighted IPs, ranging from stuff like Homer Simpson versus Bender to Skibbity Toilet and Grimace in Ohio. Recently, there's been the surge of free-for-all spam maps with old collab mythics and items, which directly violates Epic's TOS, and they refuse to do anything about it. This pounded with the fact that streamers and content creators get their maps instantly pushed to Epic picks in the discovery feed 100 times faster than the average map builder is very exhausting and demotivating to map builders that actually put time and effort into their maps. Ranked. The second biggest issue with modern Fortnite is ranked. Ranked was intended to be this new arena mode, and while ranked is definitely better than arena, there's so many flaws. To start this list, we had the removal of Siphon. Siphon became a staple for competitive Fortnite. Without it, third partying is more prevalent, and the inability to have these amazing clutch plays that made arena and pulled people to arena is now gone. Secondly, clarity in the new rank system. In arena, we knew how much points we were getting for what we were getting it and all that. In ranked, we don't have any of this. In some games, you can't even tell if you lost rating or you gained rating because you gained such a minimal or lost such a minimal amount, it doesn't tell you anything. So giving us a little SR button at the top, like plus whatever or minus whatever, would go miles into making this better. Also showing the performance stats would also help this. The fourth point we have is the loot pools. Loot pools make no sense. Why do we have the pubs loot pool in ranked when tournaments don't have half of these items? Why are they in ranked then? Now there's some items, for example the sticky grenade launcher from this season or the mammoth pistol repeater rifle from last season, that were bad in builds, go miles into making zero builds more playable, since you can actually get damage off from behind cover and force people into other positions. In builds, this brings an issue, which brings me into my next point. Builds and zero builds are two vastly different modes, and need a very different items. Items like the Portafort, shield bubbles, mobility items, and fast passive heals like the slurps and the pizza are staples for zero builds and needed because the situations are very different. In builds, shockwaves allow you to exploit into boxes, Portafort items allow you to instant wall replace so that you can actually force people into horrible positionings. Passive heals and quick heals like slurps, guzzle juice, and pizza just make it so that people really don't die, because the second that you knock them low, they run away for a second, pop all the heals, and then they're back fighting with you. These items, while revolutionary and making zero builds 1,000 times more engaging, create an annoyance in builds. Since Epic is pushing for the existence of both modes, it's time for them to have different loot pools. And then again, more different loot pools in ranked. Because for example, you can have these overpowered mythics and collab items in pubs, just not in ranked. The next topic into the list. Bringing back the game mode menu when launching the game, like we had in Chapter 1, 2, and early Chapter 3. With the pushing for discovery, finding tournaments, LTM, Save the World, and Battle Royale playlists becomes a hassle half the time because they're just squeezed into a random tab in the discovery feed. And while I understand that they're trying to push discovery, if you bring back the game mode screens, when you select creative, you'll find all the discovery there. This will also highlight, hey, Save the World exists. So these Save the World packs you have at the bottom of the item shop are more incentively meant to be bought, because when you load the game, oh, Save the World, what's Save the World? You click it, you get prompted with buying the packs. This would go a large way into fixing the differentiation between modes and removing the frustration for discovery. The next question. Why is Epic not focused on the Battle Royale? The main live game of the Battle Royale is what made Fortnite. It's what made it blow up, it's what made it good. And yet, over recent seasons, we've been pushing it to the side to work on creative and UEFN. Save the World now gets no love, and this just kinda ruins it. Speaking of creative and UEFN, why are we missing like half of the BR items? Chrome weapons, chrome splashes, rarities for items like the drum gun, the suppressed SMG, the sideways scythe, the guided missile launchers, the mythics and the exotics, the non-collab ones obviously, but if creative is meant to be this future for Fortnite, why are we missing half of the weapons roster? Save the World also needs some love, because currently these Save the World packs that we get every season, they don't really incentivize much buying because you don't really get anything other than the 1,500 V-Bucks. And the story that you just kinda ended abruptly. Lack of content. The lack of content has gotten out of hand in Battle Royale. And there's no reason for this. We have 6 years of content, 6 years of LTMs, a year of reality augments, 6 years of items. We have so many things that we can unvault and vault to make the game constantly feel fresh. Why don't we get this? Instead, we get a random collab every 2 weeks that brings in items that we've had before and not much else. For example, the most recent Ahsoka update. We could have gotten new vault items. We could have gotten more building towards Fortnitemares. Maybe some actual decent lore instead of these snapshot quests. Instead, here's the green Obi-Wan lightsaber from last time. It's white now. Enjoy. Oh yeah, we also gave you an augment or two. In tomorrow's hotfix, we're likely only going to get the tactical TMR and some augments, and maybe if we're lucky, some building into Fortnitemares. Speaking into Fortnitemares, that brings me to what happened to mini events and events. Fortnite revolutionized gaming when it came to their live events, their mini events, and their seasonal events like 14 Days of Summer, Winterfest, Fortnitemares. Yet in recent years, it's lost its charm. Summer events haven't really felt much like a summer event and have just felt like, oh, here's some free items in the middle of summer and some summer cosmetics since 2020. I couldn't tell that it was a different event. It was just Splashdown was the entire event to me. Cosmic Summer was just a creative ad. Nelswood Summer did give us ice cream and the firework flare gun, which I will give them that. But this year's summer event, we vaulted the flare gun to give us the firework flare gun, and then add back the ice cream from last year, and then some quest for Leonardo DiCaprio coconut. I don't get why, but just didn't hit. Now, Fortnitemares hasn't been much of a hit on this block because 2020's event was pretty solid. 2021's was also really good. Last year's was really good, and this year's is hyping up to actually seem like it's going to be pretty good. So, based on leaks, but yeah. The other events, like Winterfest, they just feel like they're missing something. With the lack of daily LTMs, the lack of unvaultings, the hype and the feeling that was once there is gone. Previously, I mentioned life events, which brings me to the storyline. Chapter 1 and 2 had their storyline and their interactive parts of the seasons, like Kevin the Cube's moving, The prison melting, the earthquakes building to Season 8, the Season 8 vault keys, the hype going into events like the final showdown, the device, Chapter 1 and 2's end events, Collision, Zero Crisis, and all of the above. But after Collision, it just kind of came down. The story became really hard to understand. Fracture kind of just was a mess. Chapter 4 is built into like 7 different storylines and left it just running without any explanation. We've had no live events, rarely any voice logs to actually understand anything, little story that we get locked into quest info or NPC dialogue, which we lose half the time. Cinematics make no sense, season buildups are confusing, and the accounts on X and stuff like that that are dedicated solely to the story can't even understand what's going and are complaining about the story as well. With the recent retirement of Donald Mustard, do we really have a future in the Fortnite storyline? The 9th issue, Clarity. Epic used to engage with the community on levels not seen before. They were really open to feedback and quickly. In recent years, the level of transparency has been lost. We get flooded with collab items that the community seems to complain about and not want, and want original content back. We don't really get any time to have connections to maps because maps are now yearly. Chapter 5 is around the corner, with Season 5 being a month long, and that just kind of kills the hype into that. I pray with the launching of Chapter 5, Epic decides to go back to 2 years chapters, and maybe in the middle we do like a mid-season chapter update where we change a lot of the map, but not everything, or give us a new map. Chapter 5 pretty much has everything on it. Hopefully better content, an event redeeming the misfortunes of Fracture, a fresh start with the new COO Charlie Wen, who will be taking over the storyline, and it can be the new rebirth or the next nail in the coffin. But not all of the failures of Fortnite can be solely blamed on the developers. The biggest and most influential issue with modern Fortnite isn't Epic's misfortunes or mistakes. It's us, the community, that complain about wanting something new, yet when Epic gives it to us, we complain we don't like it and drag it through the mud. Look at Primal. Or look at Vibin, Paradise, Wilds. These seasons launched with new weapon types, diverse loot pools, and we just kinda shat on Epic for it. We bullied them into pretty much submission, where they gave us the MK Alpha and they gave us items, and we still complain about that. It's fine to have constructive criticism, but destroying everything and complaining about everything, then we just kind of kill their love and passion for the game. Which honestly, I don't blame Epic for trying to push to UEFN, because with UEFN, the only people that can be blamed are us, or the map builders. So they don't have to, they can continue making their money, but just pushing out cosmetics and keeping the BR to have some content updates, and not have to deal with the harassment or blaming about absolutely everything that comes with the past few seasons. And that pretty much covers everything that I had to say here. In conclusion, Fortnite's not a perfect game. It never will be. It will always have its quirks and flaws, but that's what made it Fortnite. These issues listed are the main issues that put the current strain in the game. I'm personally optimistic about the future of Fortnite. We all want this game to succeed, whether we are the devs themselves, casual competitors, competitive players, content creators, map builders. We want the game to truly move forward and not see the ending. If we want to continue with this and build a bright future for the game, dragging each other down isn't going to work. Instead, we gotta pull together and band as one large community. And that's pretty much everything. I'll catch you all next time. Bye.